All right, I would like to open the 11:23 Board of Selectmen's meeting and call it to order. There's only two things on the agenda tonight. First of all is to talk about the candidates for town administrator, and then possibly go into executive session for contract negotiations with non-union personnel. So with that being said, I think we had 4 awesome candidates. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think our selection board, the committee did a great job of making this a very hard decision for us because everyone was so qualified. I'm very impressed with the whole process and how it went.
No, it went very well, and I agree with you. All the candidates seemed very strong.
Yeah, we can't go wrong with whomever we decide to choose. I'm going to ask Tim, was there a clear-cut person?
There was not.
Okay.
We have the 4 of them. The totals, I did a cumulative total and an average score, but it's all the same thing. We have 2 candidates that scored a cumulative 92. One of them, the third place was 72. The fourth place was 70. So there was a clear 1 and 2, but I don't know.
So is that candidate, what candidates in order of how we interviewed them, 1 through 4, which of the 2?
It was 1 and 4.
Okay. I'm just going to toss this out there. Does anybody want to go to a second interview between 1 and 4?
Personally, I'm good either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know where I stand on those 2.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So I don't know if it's really going to add any value by doing another interview. So what if we redo our sheets now just between 1 and 4 and maybe take a second look at that and decide it that way? I mean, does that make sense or?
Except I don't have the sheets.
Yeah. So why don't we go into executive session for preparations for contract negotiations between the 2 of them and see like what we feel we could offer them.
Okay. Is that
just to refresh my memory? One was, which one was that?
The first one that we interviewed.
No,
Oh, okay. You don't remember? All right.
No, where was he from or she from?
He, Millbury.
Oh, Millbury. That's the one that lives in Norton, if I remember right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And the other candidate, which one was that? Is that Arizona or Florida?
Yes, Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. All right. Yeah, now I can place him. Okay.
all right?
So
Between,
either one of those, you can't go wrong, I don't think.
okay, so between 1 and 4, who's your 1? Is 1 your 1 or is 4 your 1?
You're
4.
asking,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, 4 is my 1.
Okay. George?
For me, it's a toss-up, to tell you the truth.
So 4 actually is my number 1 too. My number 1, not 2. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My number 1 also.
So you rank 4, then 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we go into, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to conduct strategy and preparations for negotiations with non-union personnel.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Pacheco?
Yes.
I'm doing it in the wrong order. Selectman Matthews
Yes.
and Selectman Grunwald.
Yes.
All right, so I will end the live stream and we will be in executive session. Are you going to be coming back out into open session following?
No, because we would have to negotiate the contract before we could name somebody.
Now, exactly,
Are we in executive session yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so we would have to go into executive session, do contract negotiations, then that contract negotiation would have to move forward, and then we would have to vote to approve the contract.
now, when you say contract negotiation, Lisa,
Mhm.
exactly what do you mean? Do we talk to them and negotiate a salary and all that?
Mhm.
We don't make them an offer up
Mm-mm.
front?
No, we would
Okay.
negotiate a contract with them. I mean, we would have to have a starting point and an end point, but we also have to remember that whatever we do has to be approved at town meeting, and that's the fine line, like that's, you know what I mean? That gets a little dicey. So,
So let me understand this. Does this mean, if we came to a conclusion next few days or next week,
Mhm.
we still have to wait for a special town meeting?
no, we can move forward. We just have to make sure that there's enough money in the line item budget that we have right now. But then, should we negotiate a contract that the townspeople wouldn't uphold, we need to be careful. So, because all contracts are according to whatever town meeting voters approve or not approve.
So does that mean then that we really can't offer them more than what's in the budget? Is that what you're saying?
For now, and we have to find out exactly what's left in the budget, or where the current town administrator is on that line, and make sure that there's enough money to cover from now until June. You follow me?
I follow that, but we
Okay.
can't go to alternative funding?
We could, out of reserve, but my fear is what happens if we do that and we go to town meeting and the voters say, no, that's way too much money, or, you know what I mean? Like, what happens?
Well, I don't see that happening unless we get ridiculous with the salary.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So we'll go into negotiations, the three of us will come up with a number, and then we'll negotiate with whomever the candidate we have chosen, and see if we're close or if we're far away. If we're close, we're good. If we're far apart, then we have to come to a conclusion. Do we go to candidate number 2? So when we vote, or when we go into, like, when we finally approve this, we should go in with a number 1 and a number 2. So should contract negotiations fall apart, we would have number 2 to move forward.
Okay.
Before we actually enter into executive session, do you want to actually vote who's going to be, who you're looking at as the number 1?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
How do we do that?
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to offer the town administrator's position to first Peter Jankowski, and second to, should contract negotiations falter, then we would go to our second choice, which would be Jamie Kelly.
I'll second that.
You make that motion.
Sorry. So I need George to second it, right?
Yeah, make the motion and I'll second it.
I'll make that motion.
And
Second.
George, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
All right, Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
All right, so now you should probably redo that motion for executive session so we can
Okay,
actually do that
I'll
properly.
entertain a motion to go into executive session to conduct strategy and preparations for negotiations with non-union personnel.
Motion granted.
And that would be Mr. Jankowski, correct?
Second,
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes,
And just to clarify, we're not coming back into into open session, correct?
we are not.
All right. Thank you all very much. I'll shut